YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with Truth Table. Welcome to the table. Today, I wanted to discuss something that I believe needs to be addressed. I believe we're living in a time right now that is not too shy of modern dating Armageddon. But before I get into it, before I get cooking, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. You know it does wonders for your boy's self-esteem. I appreciate it. Share the content. Comment if you feel the need to. Again, I appreciate it because I do it for you guys. I do it for y'all. So, why do I want to talk about this topic over and over again? Why, Daniel? Why are you being so repetitive? Why every time we see your face pop across this screen, it's relevant to relationships, men, women, the problems? Because it's a problem. It's a real life situation. And I'm amongst people and always observing the toxic level of dysfunction that is occurring. I was actually watching one of my favorite content creators channels, She Said. Shout out to you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. And he was doing a reaction video to Anthony Mackie's, make me a sandwich, make daddy a sandwich video. And it got me pretty much laughing because, I haven't went in my journey in my life. I haven't went as far as, get in there and make me a sandwich woman. That's never been my thing. I really have never had these issues when it came to women showcasing respect, generosity, appreciation, gratitude in those type of, gestures. It's never been really an issue. If we're in a family setting, they go get me a plate. If they come over to the house, they bring food on the way to the house. Like if it's my birthday or I got a promotion, when I worked at a time or whatever was celebratory, they were very generous and patronized and so forth. And so for a long time, I used to actually think that most guys live this way. I used to think that this was normal. I'm here to tell you that I believe that this is definitely not normal. I don't believe that most men are experiencing this type of lifestyle. And I'm gonna tell you how I came to this conclusion. One, the video that he was referring to, She Said, that's been around for some time. That concept has been around for some time. And then the reaction to it tells me, one, that the modern woman in society is definitely not on board with that agenda. Two, in my personal dealings where I counsel young men or I mentor young men, the ones who ask and request, because they say, hey, man, I see how you move, show me how to do certain things. And I'm all for that. I'm all for empowerment. I'm all for progress, men first. I'm all for that. And so one of the questions I usually ask men, especially if they get around to asking me things in reference to women and how they're dealing with women, is what is the best gift you've ever received from a woman? And I shut up and I wait. And I'll tell you to date that most men have no clue, or they have nothing to tell me, because most men do not get treated with what I would consider basic, decent human respect, basic consideration when it comes to them as a person. On their birthday, on Father's Day if they're a dad, on Christmas, they don't get that type of attention. Whereas when I ask the same question to the average young lady, the list is too long. It's unlimited almost. And sometimes the receiving of treatment that the women get comes to men they're not even dating, just potential suitors. And so there is where I had an issue, because I'm like, what seems to be going on where men are doing most of the pursuing, most of the investing, most of the chasing, most of the work, most of the hunting and receiving very little in response. You know, I've often been taught the principle of giving, that giving is not complete until you receive. Now, that may sound bad, so I'm gonna break it down for you for a second. Giving is like anything else. It's like a cycle. Life is all about like cycles and seasons and, you know, a process and, you know, one step to the next step. But the giving process, the principle of the giving process is when you make a deposit, when you do something, there should be a response to that giving. And it's not always necessarily from the person that you do it for, but it is the universe of sorts. So it may not come from the person you're with, but it should come from family members, from friends, from associates, from opportunities. It should come. And if you're not receiving that, if you're not getting rewarded in your generosity, well, one of two things is happening. Either you're not generous, or you are not in expectation of being or receiving from what you're doing. Now, I want to park here for a second so I can explain it so that you guys don't get lost in what I'm saying, because it's not about a trade for trade. It's not that. It's not I give you $20, you give me $20. I give you 100, you give me 100. No, it's not that. It's the fact that us as men, we are always planters. We're always farmers. Our biology is the same thing. When you know, impregnate a woman, a baby comes out. When you put a seed in the ground as a farmer, you know, in the soil, you till the land, so on and so forth, it produces some type of harvest. When you work and you grind and you sacrifice and you get to it, there should be a financial response. There should be a network response. You get what I'm saying? So if you have been chasing women, or you have been rocking with one particular woman, there should be a response from her, gentlemen. There should be not only respect, but there should be an attitude, a demeanor, one of nurturing and caring, one that is generous, one that is selfless. And if you're not receiving this, well, there's a problem. And so what I want to do is I want to try to help you guys to, one, start to raise your expectation, two, start to identify the type of women that will be naturally inclined to act accordingly when it comes to you. A lot of times I hear guys, especially when they talk to me, you know, because I'm very raw, I'm very direct, if you guys have not already gotten that from this broadcast from my channel. But a lot of times guys think that I'm capping in the way that I talk, you know, to my social circle, on my YouTube channel, and then in real life I'm a whole different guy. I'm the same dude across the board. Anybody who knows me personally will tell you this. And that's one thing that I wanted to speak on, is that authenticity, fellas, is one of the biggest components of counteracting or activating this type of reaction and treatment from women. You have to be authentic. Authenticity is one of the things that I know for a fact is always going to stand the test of time, and it's universally applied. Meaning, it doesn't matter what woman you put in front of you. It doesn't matter what opportunity you put in front of you. When you're an authentic individual, you are going to rise to the occasion the same way consistently. There's always going to be a certain level of consistency and response. And this is to be cultivated and created by you as a man, because everything in life is based on you being consistent, disciplined. People love consistency. People love things they can depend on. And guess what, fellas? Women love consistency, love security, love things that they can depend on, a man they can depend on. If you are not experiencing the ability to have a woman make you a sandwich or, you know, gift you on your celebratory days, consider you and think about you without it being directly responded to where you got to do something back to her like she does for you, and then you turn around and do for her. So I like to tell stories so that you guys can, hopefully borrow from my life and see that I've experienced certain things before. So let's journey back. Let's, jump in the DeLorean and journey back to way when I was a simp and I didn't understand all the things I'm trying to show you guys. So back when I was around 15, 16, and I just didn't have a clue on how this thing worked, I used to be, a nice dude, a real nice dude. I was dating this girl, and she used to like to get back massages. Well, guess what? I like to get back massages. I actually love getting back massages. I try to go get a massage at minimum at least once a month. Have a masseuse and everything. But anyway, and so I remember, one of the things she asked me when we were dating, what do you like? And I told her I like, back massages. So she was like, I got you. You'll never got to worry about it. I'll rub your back. Cool. I was like, man, I'm winning. Like, I get back massages. Like, I was on. Well, what ended up happening was that when she gave me a back massage, I'm talking a minute, fellas, maybe a minute. I'm still laid out or whatever, still in my flow of feeling good and feeling relaxed. This heifer had the audacity to be like, okay, me next. And that used to bother me to my core. That used to bother me to my soul. But because I was operating from a fear base, I was operating from a, well, you have to type of mindset, I would do it reluctantly. But I hated every moment of it. And it wasn't that returning the favor was the problem. The problem was that I believe that the gesture of her showing me affection, giving me something that I wanted, was only going to be predicated on her getting something in return. And I believe, and that was when I was 16, so that was almost 20 years ago. I believe that attitude, fellas, is what most of you guys are experiencing now. That these women only do and expect, they only do because they expect it to be immediately returned. Or they expect for you to respond in being generous to them at a higher level. She take you to McDonald's, she wants you to take her to Ruth Chris. She buys you a wallet, she wants you to buy her, I don't know, a Dior bag. And there's an imbalance there. There's something wrong with the perception that is this situation. Because, see, what I've grown to experience and learn and realize, fellas, is that when a woman is amongst a man that she values, she is not gonna have to be told what to do in the sense of gestures, things you like to please you. Quite the contrary. What should happen is she's going to inquire what you expect, what you want, what is going to ultimately make you happy, and what is going to ultimately keep you happy, so that in turn, she gets to stay around. She gets to remain in your life because you're so valuable, because you're such a solid dude, because you're consistent, because you are the prize. She's gonna do what is necessary to stay amongst your goodness, your grace. And that's what it boils down to. You shouldn't be gifting her gifts on your birthday. Like, if it's your birthday, you shouldn't be buying her a gift on your birthday. And that may sound bizarre, that may sound extreme, but the way I perceive it is that's how it's going. That's how guys nowadays are interacting with these females. You got things being thrown around like, yo, oh, you gonna take me out on a date? Okay, cash at me first, and then I'll go out on a date with you. Where do they do that at? Like, what? And I'm here to debunk all that. I'm here to assist in us men taking our power back, because it never has been lost in the first place. What needs to happen is that fellas need to realize they have to set the standard. You have to teach people how to treat you. One of my sayings and one of my creeds to myself is I never let anybody treat me worse than I treat me. That's anybody, especially a woman. You're not gonna come into my life and treat me worse than I treat me. So if I don't treat me bad, chick, you're not about to treat me bad. That's just not gonna happen. And you gotta be willing to throw them back, fellas. Too many guys have this mindset that this particular girl, whoever she may be, is the only one. That this particular chick, because she finds you attractive or because you was able to pull her, that she's the only one, in the sense that this is it. This is all she wrote. No. You gotta stop living from the premise that you cannot reproduce. And see, that's how winners think. Winners don't ever think about losing. And if a loss comes, we do everything in our power to get back to the position where we're winning. And that's what I want for you guys. I want you to understand that you got to set your boundaries. You got to teach people how to treat you. You got to train these women properly. Yes, I said train. I've been using that word for some years. It used to trigger a lot of females. That's fine. I don't care. It's necessary because they need to be trained. And fellas, you need to be about your business, about your purpose, about your development, about progressing the man that you look in the mirror every day. You should look different year in and year out. And when I mean different, I mean your physique, I mean your mental state, I mean your finances, your social circle, your speech patterns, your overall development. That is what should be occurring. And that is what I want for you guys. And I'm here to assist and I'm here to help. So that is what I want to talk about today. That is what I wanted to put out there to you guys to go ahead and chew on, go ahead and digest and, marinate on it for a second. Because my guys, if the woman is not willing to make you a sandwich, yo, something's totally off. Something's terribly wrong. If you ain't worth 2 pieces of bread with some condiments in between it, something's off. So anyway, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna be coming to you guys with another video very soon. I appreciate you hanging out with me for this 15 plus minutes or so. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Keep winning, fellas. Men first. I'm out.